So, brief introduction. My name is Sheung. I live in Newcastle. I am a doctor, I'm a GP. I work across 3 sites. So, I work in Gateshead, I work in Gateshead again in another role, and then I work in Durham. I've been a GP for 1 year, I've been a doctor for 12 years now, and I thoroughly enjoy my job. I have been a Christian for, actually don't know how long. Some people remember exactly when they became born again. They remember, like they have moved, supposed to Jesus. I don't remember any of those. No, I'm serious. Some people would actually have, some people have such blowing experiences. I can't say I had any of those. I just know that I was born in a Christian family. My parents were Baptist, but then I really became born again when I was in school and uni. So anyway, that's enough for a brief introduction. And then my next slide is something about random stuff. So everyone knows now that I'm a doctor and I'm a friend of BC's. And I've just put some pictures up. Now we haven't done an introduction, so I don't know everybody here. Or did I miss it when I went to the... No, I didn't, it's fine. So unfortunately, I can't call anyone. But I'd really like for this to be as interactive as possible. So, sorry, say next slide. But there's some random things here. Oh, okay, so you can see that. Okay, so these are random stuff about me that I thought you might find interesting. So yeah, Wakanda forever, because believe it or not, I have seen it 4 times. And I know you're thinking, how can she possibly be living intentionally if she has got to see a movie 4 times? The first time I didn't wait to the end, and someone came out and said, what? You missed that there was another scene mid-credit, and then there was another scene at the very end of the credits. So the second time, if you are one of the people that left immediately after the started showing. So I went back 3 more times, and each time I had a massive popcorn, and I sat till the end. So yeah, Wakanda forever.
Did you dress up to go see it?
What?
Did you dress up?
No, so the first day was really cold. Sort of like today. Actually, that wasn't the reason. I had this lovely Ankara skirt, and it was tight. So I removed it. I went in jeans. But yeah. I don't know if you guys can see this. Yes, absolutely. I wouldn't call myself a foodie, but I absolutely love to eat. I don't know if you guys can see this image.
Cooking?
Yes, which I don't like to do. Oh, this is not really clear. Can you guys see this?
Yeah. Shoes.
Yes. So, I am a massive lover of shoes. Yes, I know many people are in my category here. I recently decided to count how many shoes, and in the UK, right, so I leave 1 leg in Lagos in Nigeria and 1 leg in Newcastle in the United Kingdom. So forgive me, I have 2 homes, and I don't carry a lot of luggage when I travel. So in the UK, last month I gave away about 24 pairs of shoes, and after that I counted I have 87 in the UK.
Wow.
And I have less shoes in the UK than I have in Nigeria. My husband is always shouting, declutter, but I'm attached to them. I'm a size 5, so the problem is very few people wear my shoes like this.
A lot of people.
You do? You've got bunch of shoes. Okay, can you guys see this and these?
24.
And blackish, yeah.
Blackish.
So I'm a massive series lover. I'm sorry, how much time do I have? 30 minutes. I'm a massive series lover, which leads me to this one. Anyone make out what that is?
Potato.
Yes. Exactly, potato on a chair, give it up, Charma. Which I'm not very proud to say. So my lifestyle is changing, but I can't be a couch potato. I can literally be the person who, I remember when I was growing up, back in Lagos, my security guard wouldn't know whether I was in or out. It was that bad, because I could leave without leaving the home for 3 days. Then it was landline, so if my landline was working, my friends could call me. There was food at home. I didn't have to go out to run around. I was good. But that's changing. But there's still, sometimes, you're in fact, when God is trying to do a work in you, it's a gradual process. So your initial person, it still shows from time to time. Can you guys see that? Workout, yeah. So I'm a struggling fit farm member. I move in and out of it. Last year I was really fit. I was running 5K, 10K. I was doing weights. And then something happened and then I slid off. And then I'm back now. I'm back to doing my workouts, but not as fit as I was. But I slide in and out and it's been like that for years. So I know my pattern. And I think that's about the most, oh yeah. That one, she's already said that, selfies. That one, cake I like, which I cannot bake, and my mother-in-law has tried to teach me many times. She made my wedding cake. She's given up on me now. She just now brings cake. She just knows she likes carrot cake, so she'll bring the carrot cake. She has tried to teach me 3 times, as in she was baking, I was baking another one. She would say, oh yeah, pour the carrot, I'll pour it. Ask me 4 years later, I cannot even, the only thing I remember is turning the cake upside down and had pineapple slices on top. Anyway, so I think that's a brief background about me, in summary, and can move to the next one. Thank you. So I'm meant to be talking about how to live intentionally, which is a bit of a hard one for me because if I'm really honest with myself, I'm not the most intentional person, but then I'm a work in progress and so is every one of us. So I'm learning and so is everyone, okay? So I'm really glad that we talked about this and thank God for Claire who spoke last time and really, really impressed upon my heart again. And she was like, oh, I've got to be more serious about this, about living intentionally. So I was going to ask this, but it's already showing. Maybe it is not clear. I shall pick on someone. What do you understand by intentional? On purpose, yeah. Anything else? Deliberate, yes. Anything else? Yes, anything else? What? A directed life, yes. That's good, yeah. Awareness, okay. Yes, more bright ideas. See, even the dictionary doesn't know it all. But there's a wealth of ideas of women.
Consciousness. Yeah.
Awareness, consciousness, good. Okay.
Having an end goal.
What?
An end goal.
An end goal. So there's something you're looking at the end. I might as well just go and sit down. Okay, yes, absolutely.
Well,
So,
I think also you have to think about the process as well. Process to get to that.
the process to get there, yeah, absolutely. The process to get there. Bloom where you're planted, while you're planted. Right, okay. So, sorry, I've got this, I'll just use my phone as well. And I wondered at some point, is this a new phenomenon? You know, I think sometime around 2014, everyone was jumping on this, you know, living intentional bandwagon. If you had listened to TED Talks then, almost every TED Talk was on living intentional. So it's not a new thing, per se. And what I'm here to say from my point of view, so one of the things on that first slide that you didn't see and I forgot is faith. And my faith is very integral to who I am. So you might hear a lot of how to live intentional speeches and things, but mine is based on on my faith in God. Okay, so that is my definition of living intentionally, to a degree. And God is intentional. I don't know if you guys have heard the saying. So as I said, I live one leg in Lagos, so I'm still very Nigerian. I was born and bred in Lagos until I was in my early 20s. Have you guys heard the saying, monkey know a born goat, or lion know the born goat, or something like that? It basically means that you can't be different from your father. You can't fall too far away from the tree. Okay? So if you are being intentional, it's not because some people have come up and said that's the new on-trend thing to do. It's because you are born of God, you are in His image and in His likeness, and God is intentional. You know, when God created heaven and earth and put you on there, He had a plan for you up until when you eventually die. You know, it's not a mistake. There are how many people on the earth? 6 billion, 7 people? Is it? Exactly, 6 billion, 7 billion people. He has a plan for every single one of us. You know, future, and He has a plan. So if we are being intentional in what we do, we're just being like God. So it's not a new fad, it's not a new phenomenon, it's not a new thing that everyone's just doing. If we're just realizing it or coming to the consciousness of it, then we're just being like our Father. Okay? So, which brings me to why is it a good idea to become intentional? Don't change the slide yet. Who wants to volunteer to answer? Why is it a good idea to become intentional or to live intentional lives?
I think it makes you more aware of your surroundings.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
It makes you more aware of your surroundings. You know what's going on around you.
Yeah.
And you can sort of put yourself in a position where you want to be and where you don't want to be.
Yeah.
Like what sort of life you want to live, what sort of life you don't want to
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Anyone else have anything to add to that?
I think from the faith perspective,
Yeah.
I would say living intentional is actually living it's part of living our best life, for who God has made us to be. Because, like you said, our Father is intentional.
Yeah.
And the scripture tells us, as He is, so are
we. Yeah.
On the earth.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So why intentional? We are both right. It is. I believe that you can go and live your entire life just winging it on earth. Okay, some people do it. Ask how they got to school, what they studied, how they ended up working. There was no plan, it just happened. They're just winging it, winging all through school, through life, through parenthood, until they die, with no intention, with no great plan. And a lot of people believe that way, and I won't say there's nothing wrong with that, but if you want to have a truly impactful life, a life of purpose, a life of relevance, which I think if you've come here today in this weather, in -1, in snow in the middle of March, I believe you don't intend to live your life that way. Okay? I believe that there's a bigger picture that you're saying, and you're thinking, I should be able to put a few more steps. I should be able to decide, as it were, where I want to be, or more like how I want to live. I don't know if you guys remember the song, Que Sera, Sera, whatever will be, will be. I used to love it. When I was a little child, I asked my mother, what would I be? Would I be pretty? Would I be rich? Here's what she said to me. And it sounds like a very lovely folk song, Que sera, sera, whatever will be, will be. The future is not for us to see. Que sera, sera. Big fat lie. No, but I'm serious, it is a big fat lie. It's a big fat lie. And how can you say, whatever will be, and the future is not for us to see? Then why are you like God? Why are you a speaking spirit like God? Why are you like your Father? I don't know if you get what I mean. Why are you going to just let circumstances or anything that happens come your way? I was listening to someone, recently who said, and people say no condition is permanent. You'll be surprised, some conditions can be permanent. If you don't change it. Yeah, exactly. If you don't do anything, you're not praying, you're not speaking, you're not confessing, you're not actively making any steps to leave, then que sera, sera, whatever will be, will be. And you won't be surprised about that, and some people will be on the spiritual side of that and say, I leave it to God. I leave it to God. God has already done what? He's done a lot already. He's created heaven and earth. He's put you. You have that same speaking spirit as God has. You have that same intelligence that God has, that He created heaven and earth. He's made you in that image and likeness. So what makes you think that situations are going not great, and therefore whatever will be, because God is watching? God has done it. He saved you. Your healing is perfected. It's all been done. What are you doing? Anyway, so I just got this phone. A quick detour. Birthday present for my husband. When I got it, so I'm very bad with phones. My phone falls on the average, and I'm not exaggerating, 3 times a day. I cannot tell you the number of times that I have changed screens. So when he gave me this phone on my birthday in February, I was in Nigeria at the time. I refused to use it. I said, also, I get back to Apple Store and put a screen, and it gets a good case because it's a phone. Anyway, the story is, it's still a bit wishy-washy, but anyway, there we go. So we've talked about what living intentionally is, and we've talked about why it's important to live intentionally, why you shouldn't just let life happen to you, or wing life, or just take life as it comes, which some people do and they get by. And not to say they're not praising, and not to say they don't make heaven, but again, we are called of God, we are purpose-filled women. We should try to do a bit more. So how does one then live intentionally? Any bright ideas? I promise 3 gifts for the 3 most active participants. Yes. What? I need to block out the noise. It's not really clear. And Mayowa is still on there.
I'm saying one of the examples of
I'm sorry? I didn't get that, sorry. I didn't get that.
You have to block out the noise, because when I say noise, I say this all the time, people ask me, people chatter what people say.
Oh, okay.
You want to focus as they say them, not how what everybody thinks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So focus.
I call it noise.
No, noise.
Yes.
Remove the noise.
As far as I'm concerned, what you're saying doesn't make sense.
Block out the noise. Yeah. Okay. That's one how. Fantastic. Good. Yeah. I'm sorry. What's your name? You've spoken about 3 times now. And I love your whole.
Thank you.
Whole look. It's the
I feel like people should mind their own journey.
Yeah.
Often people confuse other people's journey and try to compare it to their own. Compare and follow their own journey.
Okay. Right. Okay. So mind your journey. Block out the noise. I'm sorry. What's your name?
Debbie.
Debbie. Hi. Nice to meet you. Yeah.
I feel like we should be, I want to say goal oriented.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have a plan,
Yeah.
you're not intentionally working towards being a better version of yourself. So
Okay.
if you don't plan out what you want to do, like in the first quarter, I want to be better than I was in the last quarter.
Yeah.
And then you can tick out your progress.
Yeah.
So you're intentionally working towards being
Yeah.
better.
Right. Okay. So have a goal. Very important. Yeah. Any. Yeah.
I think research, you need
Yeah.
to be able to know what it is that you're trying to achieve.
Yeah.
Some people, I think, so many people decide, I want to do this, I'm good at cooking, but they don't know what the market is like. They don't know what people want now.
Yeah.
Rice might not be the new thing.
Yeah.
It's just like everyone, someone is doing this, that means let me do it, they're making good money in it. And it's like, people don't do research anymore. And I think part of being intentional is knowing exactly what
what you
you're
do.
going into.
Right,
and
okay.
what you're doing.
Good. I'm liking this. I'm sorry. What's your name? Shala. Hi.
Hi. I'll say daily affirmations because when you speak things, even if you don't feel like it sometimes, you're learning to live beyond your emotions. You're learning to live beyond how you feel. I have to do this.
Do you want to come?
So you're speaking and you consciously speak your intentionality and everything.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Thank you.
I'd say take time to reflect and review yourself at set times, not just say, okay, when I have the time, but actually be intentional and saying, okay, every week maybe I'll sit down and review everything that I've been through and make sure that I am on track. So as well as setting goals, you really need to spend some time by yourself. Not saying I'm sitting in front of TV and I'm talking to people, this is my time to reflect, but actually separating yourself from an environment where, and so that way you can quieten your mind and actually hear and hear from God, and also even take time just to really know what you've done well. Applaud yourself for that, but look at what you can do better.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a very good point because I think for those of us in employment, you have to do like midpoint appraisals and things, and then you have to look at your goals and see what you've achieved. And then in medicine, we call it personal development plans when you go for your appraisal. So they say your next year, what do you want to achieve? And it's very good to be able to do that personally, just as you said. Some people do it on their birthdays. A lot of people do it on January 31st. I think it would be a good idea for everyone as a take-home point, today. One of the things that she said, have a set time that you take out, even if it's once every quarter or in the middle of the year for a midpoint review. Were you going to say something? I'm sorry, what's your name?
Hayley.
Sorry?
Hayley.
Hayley. Oh, me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think being organized is a big one for me.
Yeah.
What works for me is lists, writing lists, what I'm to do.
Yeah.
I have children, I have a husband, I have a house to take care of, and I find that when you write things down,
Yeah.
you tick them off.
Yeah.
You've done a good enemy can distract you through your day, and it can bring all kinds of adversaries your way. So I think focus on that.
Focus. Okay. Not part of the focus.
I think a major one for me is actually being mindful of your relationships. It's super, in terms of being intentional, because you might do all the right things, but if you are in the wrong relationship, or if you've got the wrong friends, things are definitely not going to go well. What comes to mind again is, the example of Mary and Elizabeth in the Bible. Mary had this special pregnancy, and Elizabeth also was in a special situation. But that connection sort of kept them focused, and it was intentional. So I think that's a key for it.
I'm so glad that everyone's picking up. I'm so glad I'm also learning from yourself. Yeah.
Yes, I think I'll just give a very good example. Most of us, we walk on autopilot. Yeah. I think the most time that I do that is when I'm driving. When you know the route, you are not conscious. You know, when I'm going to my daughter's school, I just drive. I know. So it's not like I'm not conscious of anything. I'm not intentional about what I'm doing. So what I do now is I have 45 minutes drive from my house to work. I plan that 45 minutes that, okay, the first 10 minutes is my worship session. The next 15 minutes is for me to think about what I want to do. So there are times in our lives or in our daily activity that we're actually on co-pilot or autopilot. You're just doing it. You're not conscious. You're not thinking of it. You're not intentional about what you're doing at that particular point in time. So stop autopilot.
Stop autopilot. Or something else I learned from Instagram recently. There's a pastor's wife I follow, and she said something about breaking your day intentionally, and that a lot of us, you know, we pray in the morning before we start our day, before you go to school, before you go to work, and then once you just get into work, you just get fully into the hustle and bustle. For me, it's just fully into the whole, you know, patients coming in, coming out, district nurse is asking you this, receptionist says one patient wants to talk to you, you know, doctor, it's just crazy. And she says just stop at lunchtime, even if it's 10 minutes of praise or 10 minutes of prayer, as in consciously say, I'm going to insert this into my day. Anyway, that's by the way, just in terms of what you were talking about autopilot, and that sometimes it might be good to just, you know, put a break in between. I'm sure a lot of us are already living intentionally, somewhat, to a degree. Yeah? I'm sure we are. Otherwise, how did you get here today? You didn't just appear here. Yeah? Or should I pick on someone who's going to tell us the process of how they came to be here today? Any volunteers? If there's no volunteer, then no. Where's the MUA that was making here? Oh, there she is! Yeah! Hi, sorry, remind me your name again. Hi. So tell us the process of you getting here today for this Mind Conference, Bloom Where You're Planted. I'm sorry, do you mind sharing? You're shy. You can't be as shy as I am, trust me. I almost went back when I got in here.
No, she's not. Since when did you not shy? I woke up.
Yeah?
Starting point.
Yeah, we woke up starting point.
Did my prayers.
Yeah.
Then went to shower.
Yeah.
Then did my daily chores.
Yeah.
Then did my makeup.
Yeah.
Came here to help Auntie Busy.
Yeah.
Did some decorating. Then
Yeah.
did the face. Then sat here.
Right, okay. Now, at which point did you decide you were going to come for the meeting?
For this meeting.
Yeah.
When Auntie Busy messaged me.
Okay. So it wasn't this morning? No, okay. When did Auntie Busy message you? Okay, but the point I'm getting at, ages ago. So the point I'm making is that whole process of actually being here today didn't start this morning. It didn't start this morning. It didn't start today. It didn't start just outside the door. It started when she sent you the message, and then you thought about it and thought, okay, I will go, either because I like her or because she will become my uncle or whatever. You know, and you decided to be there, and then you made all the steps to happen. Now, if you weren't going to come here, what would your day have been like?
In the library.
In the library. Okay, so you were intentional about attending here. That's the point I'm making. You know, you put all the efforts and all the steps in place. So, as I was saying, I think we all are to a degree, but I'm just hoping that we'll take it to another level. We have, or 5 minutes, we have a 10-year plan, a 15-year plan, a 20-year plan of what we want to achieve. And don't be surprised by your future when it happens. Very quickly, I had a few things that I thought that would be good to be intentional about. One of it was your time. We talked about that last time, about how your time is almost like currency. Okay? I think that your time is directly proportional to whatever you turn out to be. So people who are into, you know, like pornography or have, you know, all those thoughts, it's because most times they spend a lot of time invested in those things. I'll give you an example. I was recently made lead of something in my practice. I had no idea what it was about. I was going to be winging it, and I decided, no, it won't work that way. So I did heavy research. I asked a group of like 150 GPs who is lead of palliative care. I went to the RCGP website and got all the materials. Believe me, 2 nights I slept and I was dreaming of palliative care patients. That was how I put myself in that thing. I just thought, I'm going to be here for 6 months, just do it and do it well. And I so studied. And I woke up and I was actually thinking, I was like, how does it get to the point where you're dreaming about work? You're not dreaming about money, you're not dreaming about your patients, you're dreaming about work. How does that make sense? Anyway, so that's time. I think it's very important to be able to invest your time. It's very important to be intentional about your time. Okay, you get 24 hours in a day. One of the things I was talking about how I've changed from being a couch potato who loves series, is because I realized I only have 24 hours. And as much as I like series and I like to catch up, as in my sky is on constant planner, recording. When I watch everything, I realized that I can't watch everything at the same time. I can't watch it when I want to. If you have 24 hours in a day and the things that are important to you, so another thing that will help you is, apart from setting your goals, is prioritizing. You realize that I had to prioritize my sleep because I was grumpy at work the following day if I didn't get minimum of 8 hours of sleep. So when you remove 8 hours of sleep, I had to pray, I had to study my Bible, I had to do all of those. You remove that time. The time left, right? And then I had to choose between, I also have to study because as a GP you don't know everything. Sometimes you see this condition, you'll be like, what on earth is this? So you put a note and you're like, and you have to study. That takes about 30 minutes to 1 hour. You know, when you have that 3 hours of time after work, then you have to decide, am I going to watch Taken or Blackish? Or am I going to study? So it's about being intentional with your time. So that's your time. Or being intentional with your thoughts, the things you think about. The Bible says in Philippians 4:8, whatever things are lovely, are just or true, you should meditate on these things. I like how the Message Bible, as puts it. It says, fix your mind on these things. And fix your mind on those things. Whatever you think in your heart is what you be. Whatever comes out of your mouth, which is the next thing we're going to, is your speech. Is what you've been thinking about and what you've been concentrating and focusing on, the law of concentration and focus. You think about it is what comes out. You should not let what you're saying be contrary to what you're believing for. A simple thing, bloom where you're planted. I personally, so I'm a very proud Nigerian. If I come back to world, in this life again, I would like to be born in Nigeria. Yeah. However, actually, I actually really like, I'm one of the people.
You're not going to be seen in this pattern.
As in people at work know that if I talk to them about Nigeria, they all want to go. They're like, this Lagos. What was it? I'm like, it's tropical. Well, I am a proud Nigerian. However, maybe not my family. Like, anybody heard of Dangote? Exactly, that kind of family. But I'm not there. Where I'm planted, it's different. You may not have the same where you're planted, but then you have a major role in whether you bloom, whether you're wither, whatever happens to you. So your thoughts, the things you say, your time, your relationships, which just Claire was saying. I think as people, we should be more intentional about our friends. We should be more intentional about picking our friends. We should be more intentional about investing in our friendships. The friendships that matter, the people that are your people, the people that are your clique, people that have your back, the people that when, as they say, dash hits the fan, they are in your corner, they are praying with you. You should be intentional about those relationships. I wasn't always, and I let time pass. Sometimes I had good friends, and because I was busy and they were busy, we're all the residency programs. 6 months would pass, and then I realized that it wasn't helping me because when I needed help, my core people, although the people that really like me would not be the ones that will come and say, oh, you've not called me in 6 months, so why are you calling me? No, they are there for me. But I realized that I'm better off when I have that circle. I'm better off when I have those people with me. I'm better off when I have those relationships. So I think we should think carefully about the people you roll with. Yeah. Okay? You choose them carefully and invest in those friendships. Or somebody was saying something about National Geographic and he was making an example about how a lion was going to attack, I think it was a deer, and all the deer came back and the lion actually stood back. So when you have that force of people with you, it's unlikely that the enemy will be able to reach you. And two other things, just very quickly, to be intentional about your attitude. So we've talked about how you may not always be where you want to be, but what are you doing? Are you complaining? Are you grouchy? Are you full of gratitude? I had to so my husband had been telling me something, just an example, about how I used to come across as rude to him. My husband is a very, gentle, well-spoken Christian guy. And I was the kind of person I could flare up easily, and I would be like, no, it's just me. And He actually told me that. I said, no, love doesn't do that. It doesn't fly off the hook. And I actually had to go and read this in the versions of 1 Corinthians 13. I had to make it intentional. I had to keep saying it over and over again that I am not rude. I am not rude. I don't know. I don't fly off the hook. I'm serious. I have to keep saying it until, and I'm getting there. It's a process, but I'm getting there. So I've talked about your attitude, and the last thing that it would be a good idea to be intentional, which I think for me is actually the most important thing, is being intentional with your faith.
Oh yeah.
You know, as we said, don't just let life happen to you. For me, the most important things that have held me through situations are the anchor scriptures that I have. Being intentional with my faith, with what I've heard. I believe that truly the only way you can be really intentional is if you're led by the Spirit of God and actually following through on the small decisions and then the big decisions. So don't just go to God when you want to get married and say, should I marry this person, if you've not been listening and you're not used to listening and following the small decisions up to you want to wear this and you just feel this nudge in your spirit say, don't. You know, you have to be conscious with your faith. You have to be intentional with that. Live that life of purpose, and I pray God will help all of us. Yeah. The last slide, just put it up very quickly. I saw it on Instagram a few days ago, and I thought it was very interesting. Is it locked? Okay, I will. Let's go in. No, the very last slide. The very, very last slide. No, the one before that. Okay, it's a quote from somebody called Mandy Hill, who I've never heard of. And she's, I don't know if it's a book or a movie, The Single Woman, but she said, 10 years from now, make sure you can say you chose your life and you didn't settle for it. And the point I'm making is, we should not be surprised about where we end up. I know some people want to Christianize it and say, well, I was praying to God and I said exceedingly abundantly beyond. But if you are saying that, then you should not be surprised if it becomes exceedingly abundantly. If I'm very rich when I'm 50, and I, as I am now, have a 15-year plan for when I'm 50, to be so, and God actually meets those expectations and surpasses, it shouldn't surprise me because I am living intentionally, or I'm on my way to living intentionally, work in progress. Anyway, thanks everyone, and sorry.
Audio Jungle.